It's not enough for some people to just be strong, but instead they take it to another level. History proves time and again that for some reason, the desire to be the strongest, the fascination with full brute strength, is sometimes too compelling to stop for some people. From ancient legends to classic Olympic Games, we've always tried to figure out who's the strongest man in the world. But times have changed, and there are plenty of powerful men out there, from deadlifts to weightlifters to athletes and powerlifters. We've compiled some of the strongest men in the world, from the modern era to times before competitions could genuinely measure up. So let's get into it. Zydrunas Savickas, Lithuania. Zydrunas Savickas is no question one of the strongest men in the world. He comes from Berzai, Lithuania, and has won the Arnold Strongman Classic a record number of times. 7 to be exact, between 2003 to 2008 and again in 2014. The Arnold Strongman Classic, to give you an idea, is seen by many as the ultimate strength test, better than the WSM competition. In 2005, Zydrunas absolutely demolished 3 world records on his way to glory. He started working on his powerlifting by 17, after a childhood interest in the practice. By his second powerlifting competition, he broke all the current Lithuanian records. Now he runs a YouTube channel where he talks on strongman-related topics such as recovery, diet, and training habits. Brian Shaw, United States. Born in Fort Lupton, Colorado, to 2 impressively tall parents, Bill excelled in sports as he grew up. He began his career as a strongman with no formal training in October of 2005 and had joined professional ranks by 2006. He competed in many competitions over the next few years, earning second in the 2018 Arnold Strongman Classic, and then in October of the same year in the World's Ultimate Strongman, where he also finished second. Shaw is still competing as of 2020, but also runs a YouTube channel with training footage, fitness and strength challenges, and was featured on a History Channel series, The Strongest Man in History, where he went on to pull a 60,000-pound Viking ship on a 60-foot incline course in less than a minute. Bill Kazmaier, United States. Bill Kazmaier, simply known as Kaz, powerlifter from Wisconsin. He's the very first person to lift all 5 McGlashan strokes, which weigh about 250 to 300 pounds each. He's known as one of the toughest men in history, and with good reason. He won the World's Strongest Man competition in 1980, 1981, and 1982, and he was seen as so good they banned him from the competition. There's no real competition if the person you're up against is unbeatable. He still to this day holds the world record for the gross raw lift of 2,425 pounds. After competing, Kaz opened a fitness center in Auburn, Alabama, which stayed open between the early 1980s until 2005. He continued to open up and run the SWAT gym, after that in Opelika, Alabama. He also runs a public life as a motivational speaker, inspiring young people in YMCA groups to lead healthier and more productive lives. Mark Henry, United States. While it worked as a nickname in his WWE stage entries, the strongest man in the world is actually one of the most muscular men in the world. From Texas, Mark Henry has the worldwide reputation as the first man to ever win both U.S. weightlifting and powerlifting super heavyweight championships at the same time, something that takes not only an immense amount of skill, but discipline. Now, all of this is impressive, but Mark has untapped potential now that he's moved on to his career in WWE. He has since retired and was introduced to the WWE Hall of Fame in 2018. As of 2019, he's taken on a backstage mentoring role to help talent work on their off-air attitudes, such as respect in the locker room and cleanliness. What's your personal record? Do you think you could take on any of these strongmen? Probably not, but it would be impressive if so. If you've ever impressed a crowd with a perfect round of arm wrestling, or if you're the friend everyone wants to help them move, let us know in the comments. We'd love to be impressed. Hafþór Björnsson, Iceland. Thor Björnsson. You may know him as the Mountain. Yes, that mountain. See Gregor Clegane from Game of Thrones. Aside from his on-screen game, he's incredibly popular within weightlifting circuits. He's a 5-time European most muscular man, 3-time Arnold Strongman Classic champion, and once the most muscular man in the world champion. He is from Reykjavik, Iceland, and he's been the country's most muscular man for over 10 years, only just now in his prime at 32. He's the second person in the world to win 3 Arnold Strongman Classics in a row, after Zydrunas Savickas. He's gone on to play the lead role in the Philadelphia during their debut season in 2015 as King Thor, the leader of a Viking raiding party. And the fact he's powerful and talented isn't enough, the fact that he's pretty literally portraying the stuff of legends should be. Eddie Hall, United Kingdom. Eddie Hall from Newcastle is an incredible strongman with tons under his belt. What makes him stand out from the rest, however, is his impressive record-setting deadlift of 2016. He managed to somehow lift a 500-kilogram deadlift, which is so heavy, proving himself and astonishing the audience. No one to this day has matched Eddie's record to this day. He's the first and last to ever be able to lift that weight from the floor to an upright position. Many have tried, but none have succeeded. Vasyl Verestchuk, Ukraine. Have you ever been the first to do something? Well, try being the first person ever declared the strongest man in the world. Big shoes to fill. For Vasyl Verestchuk, it seems almost effortless. Between all of his impressive records, most of them come from winning the strongest man in the world in 2004 and the strongest man in Ukraine 6 times. He ran a long and impressive career before retiring at the age of 40. In 2021, he moved on from his past strongman competitions and held office in Parliament. Do you think this makes him the strongest man holding office? The strongest politician in the world? Impressive either way. Lenin Taranenko, Soviet Union. Born at the end of 1956 in the Soviet Union, Lenin Taranenko was famous for setting the world record for lifting weights and total weights lifted by 1988, which are records that have still never really been broken. While the reform of weight classes makes these records no longer stand, they've still never been matched. After his numerous victories, Taranenko served as a coach for female weightlifters in India. His career may have been dubious, found much later and after the fact, as he admitted to using performance-enhancing drugs supplied by the Soviet Union. However, his records and impressive ability still took a large amount of skill. You can be strong and not be able to pull these stunts. That takes discipline.
Well, then that's going to be necessary to lift this phenomenal amount of weight.
Andy Bolton, United Kingdom. In the 1970s, Britain brought us Andy Bolton, best known as the first man to ever lift 1,000 pounds during a powerlifting competition. He was the first man to participate in his debut powerlifting competition at age 21 and went on to impress thousands, making 5th in the 2002 Arnold Strongman Classic. In 2010, at Elizabethtown High School, he showcased his abilities at a deadlift competition, lifting 964.5 pounds raw in only some socks and pants, looking unprepared, but still bringing his top game for the amazed crowd. He published a deadlift training manual titled Deadlift Dynamite, working in collaboration with Pavel Sassoon. Louis Uni, France. We've saved the oldest on the list for last, because Louis Uni, or Apollon the Mighty, is a particular case worth making note of. It's hard to categorize or place him, as there weren't many competitions in his time. He's considered one of the first powerful athletes, and the first recorded that may fit as a strongman among others on this list. At the time, there was no one else like him. While it seems underwhelming to compare him to the others, at the time it was unheard of for someone being able to lift more than 155 kilograms with a double barbell. He did a lot for the state of strongmen and what the competition would become in the future. He was also highly fit and flexible, and virtually impossible to beat in a wrestling match. For a time when strongman was well known as a circus act, bringing in hundreds to watch the display, Apollon the Mighty was impressive in a way that no one probably realized for quite some time. I'd love to see what he could do now, if only he was around for the competition era. Now, if you like these videos and want to see more, then make sure you leave us a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on post notifications to be the first to watch all our new and exciting videos. I will be replying to every comment on this video as well, so good luck.